지금 소리가 안 들리는데. I cannot hear Korean. 제라님 다시 한 번만 얘기해 보실래요? 코리안 채널에 제 목소리만 들립니다. We are ready, Master.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are here at DTT. We just finished our summer teas, 1 week for tea and 3 weeks of Chan Chi. So all our regulars more or less disappeared. But it's nice to be back with you. I know it's difficult for you because it's a habit that you created. I know how busy it is for you to come on weekends at the temple. It's a lot of efforts for you. And also, in particular, this weekend, it's a long weekend. It's a 4th of July weekend, so I'm sure some of the people are traveling. But anyway, we're glad we are back resuming this regular schedule here. Anyone has any questions, any comments they'd like to bring up? I'd like to bring up one comment, that is, it sounds like it's a no big deal, but actually I want to point out that one example of why we're doing this. I remember when I was in Korea last May, April, May or so, April. We had an interview with a Buddhist magazine editor, and we talked a lot. We talked for about an hour or so. He asked a lot of questions, and there's a major Buddhist magazine. It's one of the principal editors, if not the managing editor. I'm not sure, but we talked and talked. And he asked me a lot of questions. I was surprised on the level of depth of the questions. For someone who is in charge of a major Buddhist magazine, you think that they understand more about Mahayana, but they don't. It's interesting. And as we talked, and he said, I noticed that now you started talking about the benefits of Chan meditation. And you know, traditionally, the Chan masters would not talk about it. Okay, they don't talk about worldly benefits at all. It's true when you talk about, you look at the Chan masters' instructions. They talk a lot about concepts and principles, and in particular, the more recent Chan teachers, the monks who originated from the major Chan houses or major Chan teachers, they also started talking about principles and using a lot of words, Buddha nature and stuff. So what he said is true. But he said, how come you talked about the benefits of the Buddhist practices, whereas the traditional, you call yourself a pure Mahayana Chan, and yet you talked about worldly things, worldly benefits that's rarely talked about. And I said, and I was surprised by the question because he's right. I've been talking a lot about the benefits, and I said, it's right. I started by talking about the principles. I ran out of things to talk about, principles to talk about. There's so many Chan principles. But the truth of the matter is that when you talk about cultivation, like right now, the last summer cheese or so, we've been talking a lot about the various principles of Pureland and meditation. But if you separate and focus talking only about the Chan principles or Pureland principles, then you're missing out on the teachings. Okay? Yeah. Because that style of teaching it leans more on the theory than on the practice. Okay, and I personally feel that it should be a combination of both. My purpose is to help you and motivate you to improve, to practice to improve, because there's some real benefits of your practices. Okay? Yes, ultimately, the ultimate goal is for you to unfold your Buddha's wisdom, to see your Buddha nature, to become enlightened. But in order to get there, you cannot ignore the worldly aspects of cultivation, okay? Because the times are different. In the old times, people would like to, the system is that they wanted to separate the worldly pursuits from the transcendental pursuits, and therefore worldly people are supposed to revere and support the people who cultivate because of their purity, because of their lofty goals, and so forth. And such beliefs no longer fall true for nowadays. Nowadays, younger people like you look at us and question, what is it, the meaning of our existence? What is it we do for you? Okay, because time is important to you. Time is precious to you. You cannot afford to waste time. And therefore, if we only tell you about enlightenment, which is so far away for you, then, or we talk about the Pureland, which you can't even see, and that's the Pureland Dharma in particular is based on pure faith. And we won't be able to, we'll be losing more and more of the Buddhist disciples. Okay, then the prior generations are based on faith, but the new generations, we need to be more oriented towards serving you. So that's why I'm surprised that the monks and nuns and the people in the know in Buddhism, like the editors, fail to pick it up. Okay, and reformulate, rebrand Mahayana as something that is more practical, that is more of a way of life, more useful to society, in the service in the service of society, instead of putting ourselves on a pedestal to be served, to be revered. I don't happen not to believe in that. Okay, and so I feel that our Pureland practices and the Chan practices are a lot more balanced. Our approach to cultivation is a lot more balanced. Okay, we need, for example, we use the same techniques for of the traditional techniques. What we do with cheese, when people work very hard, and people like T Sunim there flew all the way from Korea to here to practice with us. And you know, she's been a nun for how long, T Sunim?
올해 16년 차입니다.
Please, Francis, unmute Korean translation.
Hello, Master. It has been 16 years.
16 years. My God. Most of our people do not have 16 years of Dharma age. How many years have you? You sit there and you don't even have 16 years. Amazing, even 16 years. When you came to us, you work hard. You know, she only wants to cultivate, right? She goes in Korea. She goes from temple to temple to practice for 3 months, intense cultivation, and then 3 months off, and then 3 months and so on, all year round, right? Yeah. And when she first came to us, was like 2A, second stage Arhat, after working for 15 years, 14 years, 15 years, yeah? And I met her at Heinsa and among other places, and she started asking questions about how to cultivate, okay, specifics about her practices. And she finally decided to join us, and she's been with us how long?
작년 2월에 왔습니다.
Master, I joined last year, February.
So about a little bit over a year, okay, almost a year and a half. And she struggled a lot with our style, okay. We are anarchy, we are chaos. For her, it's all regimented, you know, they're structured, and, you know, someone's supposed to do this, supposed to do that. There's a hierarchy and everything. In our temples, there's no hierarchy at all. They can do whatever they want until Master yells at them, then they change. If Master doesn't say anything, they have free rein to do whatever they wanted. Okay, and so she struggled a lot, and she was very afflicted. And I feel that for about the first 9 months, 10 months, she really struggled. No? You didn't think I noticed, huh? All the way to K-Land. And she's really struggled a lot because these traditional style of practice is very regimented, very rigid. Okay, everything in its place. And it's a test. She didn't realize it was a test. So after 9 months or so, then I started teaching her. I started saying, okay, this is, you should be doing this. You should not be doing that. And very quickly, she went up to 3A. Okay. You know, from second phase Arhat, what happened? So from 2A to 3A, it's difficult. It's not easy at all. That's why she struggled a lot. When I saw her as 2A already. And I knew she was stuck at 2A for a while because from 2 to 3A, it has a lot of issues that you need to resolve. And the problem with people when they cultivate is that they don't know what they're doing wrong. That prevents them from making progress. And so she, with the corrections, she quickly got to 3A, and then she stagnated again, okay? Until she came here this summer. And hold your horses. And then we started telling her more about what she's doing wrong that prevents her from going from 3A to 4A. Okay, I like her a lot. She's very simple-minded. All she wants to do in her life is to meditate. Okay, she's a pure nun. Can't do anything else. There's still such people in the world where they only want to meditate and become enlightened. They don't want to do anything else. Yeah? But anyway, I told her basically, you in this environment here, you can relax. You will not get to 4A soon enough. You don't have to worry about it. Don't have to be so anxious about it. And sure enough, she got to 4A. Look at her. You can tell the difference now? Huh? Everyone? Do you know how big of a deal it is in our world to get to 4A? It's a huge deal. Okay, it's so big. From 3 to 4, it's like, nowadays, it's virtually impossible. It takes years and years and years. Okay? It's not a simple process. Okay? Only because people don't know what's stopping them from going from 3 to 4. Okay? So in our system, okay, we don't give you specific things, individuals, but if you follow the schedule, you follow the cultivation programs, you naturally progress through these phases. Okay? But in some cases, like her, she's Korean, she doesn't quite understand the subtleties of our culture, American culture. We have a lot of subtleties that's very American, so that I had to give her specific instructions. But in our system, if you follow it, you naturally get like the other ones before her, got to 4A naturally. Okay? But anyway, now, so congratulations to you. It's a big, big deal. You should be proud of yourself. Nowadays, for the Sanghans to be able to get to 4A, it's very, very difficult. It's so difficult that especially for the third generation to make it. My generation, at least, we have someone we can look up to, Master YongHua, okay, the great monks. After he's gone, there really is no one you can look up to now. No one who stands out. Okay, so getting more difficult and more difficult as time goes on. And your generation, you really don't know who to look up to anymore. Okay. For example, second American patriarch is still in hiding after 30 years. Okay, so you really have no role model, you have no directions anymore, and when your generation, when your turn, then it's going to be even more difficult for you. Okay, so now's the time to work hard because it will get worse and worse. Okay, so I hope that many more of you will work harder and continue to work harder and become enlightened and help save the next generations. Okay? That's important. Questions and comments? Feels good? T Sunim. Feels good?
마스터 감사드립니다.
Thank you, Master.
That's all. After all these years, that's all you have to say? I'm very happy for you. But I'm also very happy that so many of you have made it to 4A as well, which is very impressive. Both lay people, left home people. It's you're a very special bunch. Okay? So many of you are going to the Ahat ranges, 1 to 4, which is remarkable. Keep it up. And don't forget, ultimately, all of this is only in order for us to prepare ourselves to go to Amitabha Buddha's Pureland. This is the most important thing you should be doing. Okay? The Asian Mahayana, they said, especially Chinese Cha and so forth, they encourage you to become enlightened. We do that. We do both. We need to work hard to build our skills, but ultimately, the best ending for us, for all of us, I really believe this, is to go to the Pure Land. Okay? Then all the suffering, all the troubles that you endured in your life will be well worth it. Okay? It's a great ending for all of us. I'd like to go there too, if I can. Okay, would you like to go too? No, huh? Okay, we can talk later. All right, I'm tired today, so I don't know what else to talk to you about. Unless you have questions, we can take a break and come back for the lunch offering. Anyone? Any questions you'd like to ask? No? Going one? Going two? Sold! Thank you, everyone. Okay. Way Mountain.
Hey, Master. How do we cultivate joy in our lives outside of when we are sitting?
How do you cultivate joy in our lives outside of sitting? Because sitting is so much suffering.
No, because the joy in sitting happens while we're sitting.
You're happy when you're sitting, but you don't have joy when you're not sitting?
Not to say that, but I believe that...
What's troubling you when you're not sitting?
I don't
Lack of pain in legs?
Nothing comes to mind specifically, but I think that a more intentional experience of joy as opposed to it just arising out of things, like that just happen.
Okay.
Something that's more consistent.
Isn't it wonderful how people express themselves? No wonder you guys are all so confused. He actually doesn't know what he's asking about. Why do you like it when you sit, you think? And why don't you like it when you don't sit? What's the difference?
that rhetorical, Master?
What?
Is that a rhetorical question, or are you asking specifically?
Very specific.
Okay, guys, okay. The ladies are giving me trouble. They want to know too. When I'm sitting, I am at ease until it's too painful. But there's an ease, and I can, that peace, tranquility is, is joyful. And it's not so much I don't feel joy in everyday life. It's simply a question of how do I cultivate it so that it's more consistent and not a result of things that are temporary, impermanent, and perhaps not healthy.
All right. Very good. Getting close. Let me talk to you from the other side of the equation. When you are not crossing your legs, when you are living your normal life, the nature of life is turmoil. You're actually being drained constantly. This is what most people don't realize. When you walk about, when you live your normal life, driving your car, going to the supermarket, watching TV, you're actually being drained of your energy. Okay? How? Because your 6 sense organs, your 5 sense organs are constantly draining you. Oh, look at that. Oh, nice music. Oh, this is so nice. And so you pay attention to everything except yourself. So therefore your chi goes from inside to outside. So you're being drained. It's an outflow. Your life is a life of outflows. Okay? And that's why you constantly need coffee, snacks, Japanese snacks, vending machines. Because of that drain right there, you run out of energy, so you need to replenish. I first came to the United States a long, long time ago. I don't even remember when. So long ago. And I remember I was studying, and back then I was young, I was full of energy, so I could study it for, and study without any problems. But then I remember taking a class, and the instructor said, after 2 hours of lecture, he said, "Yeah, I tell you what, get up. Go and grab a coffee. Go grab a candy bar from the machine. Replenish yourself, and you come back. We continue, because you cannot keep up this way. Okay, you run out of energy." And so this is what Americans are conditioned to do. They're constantly draining themselves, and then they have to replenish through coffee, through tea, through drinks, energy drinks, and so forth. Energy drinks, by the way, is the most poisonous thing you can do to yourself. You're harming your body. Okay? And so what happened to us is that we are being drained constantly because our sense organs are processing the 5 sense data, the noise, the sound, the tastes, the sights, and so forth. Okay? What's the 5th one? The touch, and so forth. And so so we keep on spending energy, and that's suffering. That you refuse to admit that you are perfectly happy, you're not suffering at all. But we laugh. Look at you, we laugh internally. You're suffering a lot more than you realize. Now he's telling us himself. He said, I am suffering. You know, when he first came like 6 months ago, he said, what's the matter with you guys? You keep on talking suffering, but what about the people like me who's not suffering at all? And now he says himself is admitting he's suffering, unless he crosses his legs. And look at him, after all this time, his legs is still as high as the mountain. And he's happy already. That's the difference. We allow ourselves to be drained, okay? And mentally, we don't like it. We don't dare admit we're suffering. But the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, he looked at us and said, I am suffering. 24 hours a day. And no matter how much money I have, no much power I have, how much fun I have, I'm still suffering. Okay? So that's why he abandoned all this and he meditated. Okay, so the question is, how do I have more joy, have meditation joy beyond crossing my legs? Okay, one way, it's very simple. I just gave you an example already, this morning talk. You guys, my message is very subtle, but you guys don't get it. That's why sometimes I have to spell it out for you. So what's this morning's message? You want to be happier? What do? You shave your head like the T Sunim. Not funny? Chengdu looks worried. Not funny, huh? Okay, I got you. Okay. You see, if you do like her, the reason she's doing it, now T Sunim, who came all the way from Korea, she doesn't even want to join us, she just wants to sit and be happy by herself. And in our environment, you can do that, you see. We don't care. If that makes you happy, by all means, be happy. But I will entice her to get up one of these days because I teach her how to be happier by getting up, by doing things. And that's a matter of skills, yes. Ultimately, you can speed up your process by doing like T Sunim and shave your head. If you're suffering a lot, see, he said, I'm not suffering enough to shave my head. All right. It's a matter of skills. Ultimately, right now, you develop the skills to find peace and happiness while you cross your legs, while you cultivate. That's important, okay? Because there is a matter of choice. If you're too unhappy, you say, okay, enough, let me go meditate. That's what you achieved so far. You block out time that you can say, enough, I will be happy for a change. Okay? And so what you have to do is eventually build up your skills so that you can be even happier. Okay? When you're happier, actually what you're not saying is that you say you're suffering. Actually, you're suffering less than before. Yeah? See, how come I know a lot more about him than he does know about himself? I'm having a good time now. He used to come to me and say, you guys are speaking nonsense. What suffering are we talking about? Now I'm really letting him have it. You don't know jack shit. This is a problem with people of the world. They don't know, they don't understand the nature of their suffering. And so, going back to him, he's suffering less than before. Yes. Look at him. The face is brighter, more relaxed than before. And so, it's because you now have samadhi, more samadhi than before. So you see, that's the solution. You build up your samadhi. If your samadhi increases, then your suffering is lessened. Increase more, less suffering. Increase more, less suffering. Until you reach a point where you are happy here and you no longer are suffering here. That's possible. Okay? That's the only way I know of. Good question. YouTube, go ahead.
Hello, we cannot hear.
Hear me? Okay, can you hear me now, please? Hello? I guess you can hear me? Okay. We have thank you. We have a question from Miguel Ping from Portugal. Hello, Master. When lay people reach first stage Arhat and higher, and for example, their friend or their spouse offer them a meal or cook for them and so forth, does it mean that they get tremendous blessings for doing so? Thank you.
Well, they get some blessings, but I wouldn't go as far as tremendous blessings. Come on. Be more humble. The Hinayana monks, they'd like to make you believe that you would have tremendous blessings. For us, it's too tiny to talk about. Okay, yes, they do have more blessings. It's true. It's from the 42 sections, Sutra in 42 sections, where there's a section where it's about the comparative blessings. So you make an offering to where the Buddha says, it's better for you to make offering to a good person than to a bad person, evil person. And for you to make an offering to a good person is not as good as making offering to a person who holds the 5 precepts. And so forth. There's a multiplier that goes up very, very quickly. Okay, so when you get to a first stage Arhat, then you make an offering to a first stage Arhat. It's sort of like equivalent to making an offering to helping, let's say, a regular person, like 10,000 regular person or 100,000 regular people, something like that. Okay, yeah, you can check out that table, and that tells you right there that when we cultivate. And you improve like this, when someone comes to you and give you, a cup of coffee, a little bit of water, or a toothpick or whatever, that merit right there is multiplied by a big factor, depending on your level. So wherever you go, you are spreading the wealth to everyone. Okay? It's incredible what you do. Okay? So that's why all we worried about is we train you and you live your normal life and you're benefiting society. You're making society richer already. It will show up eventually somehow. Okay? All right. Yes. Answer is yes, but don't get a big head. Okay, we stop here today. Thank you, everyone.